Danny, first of all, how much of a disappointment was it that Saturday got called off in the end?
Yeah, disappointing. You know, sooner or later we want to start getting those points on the board instead of the games in hand. It's another game. I suppose that the only upside, so to speak, was that most games were off, bar those clubs with 4G surfaces. So, like I say, there's only so much you can tamper with fate. And sadly, you know, I was here early on checking the pitch, and you're hoping the sun hits that bit of grass in front of the Cop end. And it was really rock hard, really. So to be fair, I don't think the referee had any. Sometimes games are called off, and you almost want to question the referee's decision. He left it as late as you can, and you know, the only good thing, I don't think their sort of team or support was set off, so it didn't cause too much disruption. And the good thing is the rearranged game is for a Saturday, so it shouldn't really sort of tamper with any of the supporters' plans for midweek games. Hopefully, we'll have another bumper crowd.
It does mean that you're now going to have 8 games in February. It could be exciting, but maybe not ideal as well. What are your thoughts on it?
I think that's what we're here for as staff, and obviously the gaffer's sort of the main man, where we have to sort of now organise and dictate training and how we look after the players to go around the games. And sometimes games go around training sessions, that makes sense, but I think that the games will lead what we do now, because it's going to be a lot of minutes, lads, and you know, if you've got 30 or 40 players, you can really change your team every game. And although we've got a good squad, some lads are going to really have to go above and beyond until the end of the season now, and push their bodies to the limits, because we're going to have a lot of Saturday Tuesdays. I remember years ago at Leighton Orient, near the end we had Saturday Tuesday Thursdays, which a lot of non-league teams have to do sometimes with loads of games called off. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, but our lads are fit enough, and like I say, these things are sent to test you, and if we want to be successful, we've got to overcome these hurdles.
Yeah, is this going to be an opportunity perhaps for some players who perhaps have been on the fringes of the team to really step up now and show what they can do as well?
Yeah, I think if you look at the lads who haven't had as much game time as they maybe would have liked, they're certainly going to have a bit of game time between now and the end of the season, whether they like it or not, which obviously they will like that. So yeah, it's great, and that's what's important about, like I said to you before, Liam, like weeks and months ago, about the importance of keeping those lads not playing fit and working them a bit harder in training, and making them, you know, maybe do a bit of running when they don't want to do it because they haven't been playing. So we've got to keep their tanks full up of energy, and we're hoping now that you know, that all comes to fruition, because we're going to need them.
What about tomorrow night then, in terms of the pitch and the weather? What's it looking like? Well,
I think the forecast is gradually going up. And unless Michael Fish gives one of his dodgy predictions, I think we'll be all right. And like I say, I mean, I got up early Saturday for a walk, and it was the coldest I've known it for a long time. Then the sun comes out, and you're hoping it might heat things up. It wasn't to be. I think the next 24 hours, I think, should be fine. So I'll personally be very surprised if there was any freezing going on again.
Has it worked in your favour a little bit, because there was a bit of a bug going around the squad, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, that's been said, you know, amongst us. You know, as you do look at the positives of these things, and although we had a fully fit squad to choose from, you've got to remember people like DJ Oldacre, who run like, you know, close to 13k at West Brom on the Tuesday, and you know, and he had a bit of a bug, but he was available for selection. So all these lads were available for selection, but you try and find the positives when games are off. We all wanted the game on, because we honestly felt we could go and win the game and sort of get that gap a little bit tighter between us and Notts County. But like I say, it wasn't to be, and yeah, maybe a couple of days rest gets their energy levels up a tiny bit more. Who knows? It's all hindsight, and if we have a good result tomorrow night and everyone's full of energy, then hopefully, you know, it was the right decision to get Notts County off.
So Joe Quigley back training now after his illness last week?
Yeah, Joe Quigley, he was due to play against Notts County. So, you know, I suppose it gives him another couple of days to get some sleep under his belt, because he had a real bad bug, you know. For him to miss that cup game, he must have been bad. So, yeah, like you say, Liam, I think, you know, I don't think the extra couple of days will do us any harm. It's just you'd like to look at the league table and have that gap a little bit closer. But like I say, what will be, and all focus is now on Tuesday night.
Altrincham, one of the informed teams in the league at the minute, they've really shot up from sort of on the fringes of the relegation zone up to 10th, and could even go into the playoffs with a win. What are you expecting from that?
A very, very tough game. I mean, I think they're 10 unbeaten now in League and Cup, which takes some doing. So they played some strong teams in that period as well. They gave us a good game at their place. We only got a point off them last year over the 2 games. So, they're tough, and I think it's not stating the obvious and giving anything away that they'll come here as underdogs. So they'll have that sort of underdog mentality. They play some good football. He's done a good job there over the years there, Phil, and his staff. So we know it's going to be tough, really tough. We've taken one of their main assets, so hopefully that'll affect them. But the players that have stepped in the void since Ryan's come to us have certainly done well. And then a good win against Maidenhead the other night. Played some good stuff. So really tough game. And whether it's Notts County or Altrincham, we approach it exactly the same.
As you say, you've got Ryan Colclough in the building now. Will you be picking his brain to try and get some inside info on Altrincham then?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think it's a case of him trying to find out what they're going to do, but you might find out about a few things that they did regularly when he was there. But listen, it's the old cliche. It is about us, and like most times we've seen this season, if we turn up, whether it be West Brom at home or whoever, in our league, we'll win. We'll win and we'll play well and entertain the supporters. And like I also said before, if you don't turn up, you have a tough time. I didn't turn up for those three games we lost. Didn't turn up really at Halifax. Didn't turn up in a lot of ways, I suppose, sadly, at West Brom. And the results don't usually lie. So we've got to be on our game, turn up, and make sure we get the 3 points.
What do you think's been the key to Altrincham's sort of turnaround in the last sort of month or so? What do you put it down to from what you've seen from them?
I think sometimes it's people getting a good run, the confidence levels go up. I'm not a huge believer in form and what it takes, but you can't lie that 10 unbeaten means they're coming into this game in a good vein of form, in good position, and I'm sure their confidence will be much higher than if they had 1 in 10. That's stating the obvious. So yeah, we can't ignore their good form and the results and performances they've had. It's like anything. I'm not behind the scenes there. I don't know what they're doing, if they're doing anything different to the start of the season. But sometimes when the manager's given a bit of time, he implements his ways a bit more through sticky periods, which they had early on, and they've come through it obviously now. And I'm sure their manager won't be looking to come here and just sort of have a night out and try and nick a point. They'll be coming to cause an upset. We've got to make sure that we give our supporters something to sing about early on. Hopefully get an early goal and make it a really enjoyable night.
Michael Gayassi, Tom Whelan, Jack Clark all gone out on loan. A couple of fans just asking, if needs be, if there were sort of injuries, can they be recalled, do you know? Or is it that it till the end of the season?
No, I think with most season loans, Liam, it's 28-day callback, so they have to be there for at least a month. And then after that, I think we can call back within 24 hours. I think, I know it's a pre-match interview, but I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that they have to be there for at least a month. I don't think Michael's allowed to play against us as part of the arrangement. So whatever happens, it's going to be a tough game. And listen, like those even after tomorrow night, I hope Michael goes in the team there and does really well, because he's been a cracking lad since he's been here, as have Tom and Jack. But tomorrow night, obviously, we hope we get the 3 points.
Is there any update on Manny Oyeleki in terms of how he's getting on?
No, it's a shame in Manny, because his regular little setbacks. He was out for a while with his injury, and then since then, obviously, like anything, when you come back, you break down a lot. When you're trying to get back in the swing of things. So I think initially you asked me sort of November, December, and we thought we'd be back, hitting the ground running in January. Hasn't worked out that way. So it's a day-by-day thing with Manny. I think he's with Ben, the physio, today, and we're lucky at the moment that people in his position are absolutely firing, so we're okay in the midfield areas. So, but Manny's a good player, and for his own benefit and career, he wants to get back fit as soon as possible.
Yeah, what do you think the future lies for him then? Is he going to have to, if he can get fit, go out on loan, or what's the situation, do you think?
I mean, I've been part of those conversations before in football, when you try and plan things before someone's ready to be planned for, if that makes sense, and it all goes a little bit wrong. If it sometimes you sort of, like I say, I keep messing with fate, and I think that with Manny especially, you have to really, with someone who's had a lot of injuries, bless him, and it's I think once you get him right, we can all sit down and talk about what's next and what's best for Manny and the football club. But at this moment in time, I think it's unfair to really talk about his future while he's still trying to get fit.
Just finally, is there any update on Danny Rowe as well?
Danny's back in the building. He had a real bad virus, sadly, towards the end of his time at Fylde. So he's nowhere near match fit at the moment. So he's working closely with our fitness department just to get him as close as match fit as possible before he joins in with the group and trains. But yeah, Danny Rowe is back in the building.
Cheers for your time, Danny. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Liam. Top man.